All right.
So, can you first off, please state your full name and the spelling of it? I mean, I guess you don't have to do that. We don't have to do that.
No, I would just say, what's your full name and like your artist name and where you're from and all that. Like just your general introduction. You know?
Oh, I see. My name is Jalen, and I go by Huey Slims. You know, I'm from Cleveland. I've lived pretty much everywhere around the Northeast Ohio area, pretty much. So I'm definitely really from Cleveland. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so we're gonna jump into some questions about the album.
Yeah.
So, can you describe the overall theme of the precursor and how it sets a tone for the entire album?
I just wanted it to be really edgy, I guess, like sonically. So, yeah, I think we I think we did that pretty well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a huge like explosion of sound.
Yeah.
What inspired the title of the album, and how does it connect with your personal journey in music and life?
The album is called The Precursor because a lot of the themes and sounds we made in there, I tend to expand on in later projects. I'm trying to make real conceptual works of art, so a lot of this stuff in The Precursor I'm just going to expand upon greatly, so that's why it's called that. Yeah.
So speaking on that a little more, where do you see your musical journey taking you in like the next 5 years? And are there any particular goals or projects you're aiming to achieve coming up soon?
Yeah, you're talking about doing the fucking second EP. About to just crank that out. I need to make like 1,300 songs and just be one of them rappers.
Oh yeah. Do you have any particular projects that you're sitting on or anything that you might want to put out at some?
Yeah, I'm working on Black Superman still with McCaden. That's about halfway done. I just got to finish that up.
Yeah, how's that collaboration go?
Pretty cool. Like working on the precursor gave me like a lot of insight on how to make albums better. So yeah.
I feel that I learned a ton from that.
Yeah.
Specifically, sorry.
Yeah, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, specifically with making albums better, what do you mean by that? What is it?
Like, it's one thing to make a song, but to make like an album, I look at it as one continual piece of music, and everything has to flow together perfectly, and that's how you make albums. So yeah, I think I learned a little more on how I want to achieve that in the future. Yeah.
So Sit and Duck delves into themes of like familial legacy and personal struggle. So would you want to elaborate a little bit more about how your family has shaped your music and your personal identity?
As with everybody, my family situation has shaped me pretty profoundly. A lot of that song is talking about, the anger I would see in my household growing up. The title of the song, Sitting Duck, it comes from the line in the song that talks about me having to like get away because I'm being fucking yelled at when I was a kid. So, yeah.
Yeah, you can really, I feel like you can really hear that in like the raw delivery and expression. What do you hope the listeners can like take away from listening to this song, like this experience?
It's kind of hard for me because it's really only a taste of what's to come. That's the entire point. Yeah, this is the first brick of a castle I'm building, essentially. Yeah.
So in next track, Boy Meets World, there's a reoccurring theme of love and conflict. So how do these dynamics play into your creative process?
Repeat the question one more time for me.
So in the song Boy Meets World, there's a reoccurring theme of love and conflict. And how do these dynamics play into your creative process? And feel free to like think, or if you need to skip questions, like feel free. We got plenty.
Say
I see.
whatever.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm trying to answer as many questions
Yeah.
as you'll give me. Yeah. Love. I make every song I make because of love, but making songs feels like a fucking battle to me. It's incredibly hard for me to write songs because my songwriting process is it can get super like torturous at times. So
Yeah. Do you want to talk about your songwriting process a little bit more?
I write songs as if they were poems. I take the musicality doesn't usually come first when I'm writing lyrics. It's mainly I just need to say what I need to, and I just have to find a way to put them all together.
How would you say you like start your songwriting process? Like, where's your jumping off point?
I visualize songs like movies, so I gotta get an established shot in my mind. So I might write about something that you would see, and in this painting, I'm trying to visualize in my mind. So yeah.
I can feel that like it feels more like you're reading like screenplay. Not like completely, but like it's very dramatic in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's hip hop, but it's also like very theatrical, and it's
Right.
a big experience listening to it.
Yeah, I want my songs to read like books. I read it just a lot growing up, and I would see movies playing as I read. So that same feeling that I want that to be in my music.
What
Yeah.
were some books that like inspired you a lot?
Dang, I read a lot. I read a lot of like nerd shit. Like I was really big into Percy Jackson back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Shit, dang.
Got into them so much, but I had like a bunch of friends that were.
Like I'd read any like fiction series really. Like I love it. But like I want my albums to read like books. I want them all to be this big cohesive experience.
Yeah. Like one after the next.
Right.
Leads into each other.
How do you feel like someone reading your lyrics versus listening to your song? Like, do you think that if people were to read your lyrics first and listen to the song afterwards versus listening to the song first and reading the lyrics? Because obviously some people don't like digest everything what they're listening to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you feel like that could, I guess, go for? I don't know if that makes sense at all.
Could you repeat it one more time for me?
Yeah. So, how do you feel like the song is? How do you feel like it could be interpreted differently, like written versus listened to?
When I write, I keep like inflection in mind. So it just might be a little different because like whoever's reading it doesn't have that context. Mm-hmm. But at the same token, you're probably not getting every word I pick up when you're listening to the song. And when it's all laid bare, it's a lot more just raw, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely feel like my experience listening to the album versus then going through and reading your lyrics was like, I just definitely was like, holy shit. When I was reading the lyrics, even though I feel like that when I listen to it as well, like your like writing is just really, really very poetic and good.
I appreciate it, yeah.
Yeah, so speaking on more like creating this EP, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced while like creating it? And what did you do to like overcome them?
The label.
You want to speak on that a little bit more?
Yeah, I don't know, just like working in like a structure like that. It's just it comes with its inherent set of headaches that a lot of time constrictions and having to work around the whims of leadership, and yeah, it's not fun, but it got an album done. Shit.
Were there any other challenges that you think you faced?
Yeah, like writing is really hard. Writing's really hard because when I write, I have to like pretty much tear into the deepest depths of my psyche So it's like very emotionally taxing. So I've had to, you know, make sure to pace myself, but it's like really, it was really like running the marathon for real. Yeah.
No, I definitely understand that.
Mm.
And there was such a huge like time pressure the whole time to. Do you want to talk about how like working under like such a crazy time pressure, like influenced like I don't know, maybe your creative process and your like writing process and just vision in general?
I was pretty locked in. I was doing shrooms twice a week working on this record. For real, like I would come home every day. I would turn off my phone and just fucking lock in. Just really the entire time writing it, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you write your lyrics on paper first?
I said turn off my phone, but I actually write on my phone.
You write it
Yeah, I do
on
write
your
on my phone. Yes.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
I feel like that's just the most convenient
Yeah.
because when you're in the studio you want to have
Yeah, I used to strictly write on paper because I was like, oh, this is fucking hip hop.
yeah.
Nah, it's all on my phone. Like it'll keep going, just keeps going. Yeah.
That's impressive. But yeah. So yeah, speaking more about words, the titles of your track are pretty intriguing. So what's the story behind the track titles? If you want to like go through some of your favorites.
We could just go through the track list. The precursor, this, you know,
Yeah.
titular track, you know, yeah.
Pretty self-explanatory.
I did explain Sit and Doug. Boy Meets World. There's a sitcom back in the '90s called Boy Meets World. That's where kind of the vision comes from. I'm talking about in that song. I'm talking about, you know, a past relationship of mine. We were, you know, kids when we started dating. So yeah, that's where that comes from. What is it? Interlude. It's a fucking interlude. Harbingers of Night. I just wanted to name the song really something really edgy. I just thought it would be funny. It was originally supposed to be for the Night Keeper movie, but Turner just wasn't fucking with it, so we put on the album. And Going Merrily, that's like a big like I just was talking about One Piece in that song, to be honest. Yeah, Going Merrily is a reference to the boat in the show Going Merry. Yeah.
So how does the album art reflect themes or stories in the EP? And yeah, do you want to talk about like who designed it and that collaboration?
Yes, Annabelle, fucking fire, fantastic artist, really. I just told her to make something really fucking punk and make it like a collage type thing, and the color scheme, we talked that out, we went through that a lot and went back and forth, and we came out with something pretty cool. Yeah.
So how do you think you've evolved as an artist throughout like creating this EP?
I've evolved my art to a point now where I can see ways I can branch off, and I can actually visualize them in my head how I can grow in the future. I think I plateaued for a really long time, and I think this helped me break through. Yeah.
Do you want to talk more about some of the ways that this album like helped you grow and like some things you took away from it, like things you learned?
This album makes my, you know, vision clear. Really in my music, the only thing I'm doing is just talking about my life. It's just how I want to paint it. You know what I'm saying? This album is like the first brushstroke of a much larger piece. So it puts I'm gonna have a lot more perspective on how I want to approach it now. Yeah, essentially. Mm-hmm.
Once you like can see, you can start visualizing the brushstrokes.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes easier than just like staring at the blank canvas.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Do you want to talk about any more like cultural or music influences that shaped the EP and like your influences for the sound of this particular work that we completed?
Well, we met Earl Sweatshirt. We did do that. Gave him the CD for the project. I hope he listens to it someday if he hasn't. Yeah, fucking. We really were just in our own little world, to be honest, for this whole thing. Yeah, like I wanted to just make something really abstract and gritty, and I think we accomplished that.
Oh, yeah.
Really.
Yeah, do you want to talk about meeting Earl more and how that came to happen? And
Yeah, he came to our school for the music industry summit, and we were at the panel, and he fucking, when every time was up, he was like, "Bye guys," and just fucking ran away. But he ended up being in the fucking lobby taking pictures of people, and I just went up to him and said, "Yeah, you're my biggest inspiration for real." And I handed him the CD, dabbed me up. He was like, "Stay up, bro." I was like, "Yeah, I will."
that's so funny. So let's go back to more on our artistic process.
You just almost said
Autistic process.
So how do you navigate the balance between raw emotion or emotional expression and the like technical aspects of songwriting and recording and producing and all
It's a
that?
very long-winded question. Can you say it again?
Yeah. So how do you balance like the work and like the emotional expression with the technical aspects of the songwriting and the recording, like the real like in the weeds production and management stuff with the songwriting and creative process? How's balance?
Oh, you're telling me how I'm balancing shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't. I fucking don't. Yeah, like I'm definitely way more musically minded than technical minded. So really, just when in song making, I feel the song out. I don't just sit there and calculate how many bars I'm going to say here, and I'm not that clinical with it. So I really only learn the things I need to ensure that it sounds good as I'm making music like that. So
Was there a particular moment in like maybe when we were making the song where you felt like kind of stuck and like you had like a real challenge? Like, can you break down like, I don't know, what was the hardest part of making each song or something like that?
well, I know I wrote like maybe 2 or 3 more songs that didn't make it on, and for like 2 of them I did just get stuck because the songs really weren't going where I really wanted them to, so I had to cut it out. Those are probably the lows. I cut out the lows here, so yeah.
Yeah, were there any moments like, I know that like, actually let me rephrase the question completely. What was like the order of creating this project? Like, kind of, well, how did it come together? Like,
It was fucking all over the place. The first song we finished was the single, which is the 3rd song. The second was the second was the 2nd song actually. I know we finished the first song last, and we finished the last song second to last. Yeah, it was really all over the place.
We started the precursor first, though.
Yeah, we started it first and we finished it
Yeah,
last.
we finished
Yeah,
it last.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then, well, technically, I made most of the interlude in like October, but so you talked about like growing up in Cleveland and all that. So how does your like background and like community that you grew up in influence your work?
I wouldn't even say I grew up in a community. I've lived like fucking everywhere in too many places to really call home. So I feel like pretty distant from a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think it gets like it's very isolating. I think a lot of that rubs off of my music. Yeah.
How do you feel about like being from Cleveland and the city itself, like,
It's my home.
yeah,
It's where I grew up. It's pretty much all I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you is there any like particular place you think of or feeling you feel or even texture that you think about when you think about Cleveland and
Texture. Probably the Cavs.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the Cavs multiple times every day, pretty much. Yeah.
I feel that.
Especially right now.
So stressful.
Very.
That Mobley block last night.
Yeah. We're in the series still, but shit. Come on.
So I know you're in the it's that Hidden Renaissance. Right?
Oh yeah, Hidden Renaissance. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, it's just this like fucking super big collective of people. We all make music. We had a couple albums out now. I've done some mixing work for them, and yeah.
Yeah. How did you get involved with that collective?
Reddit.
Reddit?
Yeah.
Where are
Simple
they,
as that.
Where are they based out of?
It's purely an online thing,
Just
really.
online.
So
So yeah, can you tell us kind of like the story of how you like found them on Reddit?
the couple that runs it, Throne, I reached out to them on Reddit. It was like, yo, because they were like promoting it, and I joined up like a couple years ago. And yeah, I've done some work with Throne too. I have some shit out on streaming with them.
Yeah.
Like I mixed a couple of their songs, and yeah.
I think you showed me in the car. Right?
Yeah.
So music often has the power to heal both the artist and the audience. Can you share an instance where creating or performing music had a transformative effect on you or someone else close to you?
Well, it inherently always has a transformative effect on me because I make music to free myself. And every song that I write, every line, every vowel, every syllable, I free myself a little more. So I think it's constantly transforming me as I write them.
There's a visceral intensity to your lyrics. How do you hope they resonate or impact with listeners? How do you hope your lyrics?
My lyrics.
impact listeners?
Someone actually pretty recently told me that they learn a lot about me through my music. I want my music to seem like I'm a friend who's talking to you, just sitting there, just talking to you about anything. I think an experience like that would hit a lot of people close to home. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I definitely feel like your music is deeply personal, and like I feel that it's very important to you, and that's like my favorite type of music is music that is really important to the people who are making it, and not just something that like is shit out. Can you talk about like the importance of sounds and different words to like just things like the small things that people might not realize that are very important to you about this work?
Well, I guess to start out, I would just say that I don't make music for anybody else but myself, and that's the magic in it. I don't think about a single person other than myself and my experiences when I make my music, because that's the time where I can be the most honest. Like I'm trying to think of little things that people wouldn't know. I guess just in my arts in general, I sample a lot of the things I was obsessed with growing up. A lot of the games and lost media and shit. I'll throw a lot of just shit from my life within my work. Yeah.
So what are some of the like sound palettes and like textures and cinematic themes that you want to like sort of capture? I know we some of the words we used like when like coming up with ideas and brainstorming for the project, like evil and like menacing and like marauding and like I know like Going Merrily like the pirate fucking theme, like just if you want to talk about some of your influences on like the sound palette and stuff like that?
Lil Ugly Mane. Like there's really just not an artist like him. Like the way he paints pictures, like it made me see art really 3-dimensionally, if that makes sense. So yeah. Yeah, I can show that range now because I've just studied just a lot of his songs. Yeah,
he has a crazy range. Like he makes so many different types of music, and yeah, I definitely feel that in what we were trying to do on that.
I feel like the album to me gives gravel.
That's real.
Crushed asphalt. Texturally wise, in a good way. I like that texture.
Nah, I fuck with it a lot. Yeah, hell yeah.
Would you like to discuss like a particularly tough period in your life that you've chronicled through your music, and how you've like grown since that period, and like how music has helped shape you?
Which one? Like, I talk about a lot of tough times in my life.
What
So
do you want to talk about? We got time.
I've rapped a lot about my fucking, I guess, relationship from high school, because it's changed me a lot as a person. So with how just fucking how rough it was at times, I don't know. It's
Yeah, for sure. High school relationships are like very formative.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Also crazy.
Yeah. How was you, now that you're like sort of coming to an end of your time at OU? How do you feel about like Athens and your experience?
Athens is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's alright. Yeah, like it's pretty. It's really pretty.
Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah, that is about it. Yeah.
Have you gone through any struggles, like, I don't know, living in like dorms and all that, and like going through COVID and all this during the same time, and like I don't know, I know that a lot of people in our generation faced a lot of mental health issues during this time. So did that have any sort of influence on like your music and your writing and your creative process? Cause
Yeah, like I would make songs just fucking manic as fuck sometimes. Like, yeah, this college has been like a pretty wild ride. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, yeah, I've had pretty good highs and pretty deep lows for sure. Yeah.
What were some of those real highs that like you felt like you were actually like, oh yeah, I like living here, this is nice?
Well, this was one of them. Fucking album, like, yeah, this was great. Like, I'm very happy with how this came out. Really.
Yeah. Me too. Let's, oh yeah, let's go back through some of the more the other songs on the album that we didn't get through yet. So Going Merrily, if you want to talk about its
Significance to anime characters like Nico Robin.
Yo, I love Nico Robin.
The theme of overcoming obstacles.
Yeah. I think I was like rating One Piece or some shit that song. I've had the most fun making that song, like writing it. Definitely.
I hear that in the verse.
Yeah.
What was the most fun part about it? What makes it the most fun?
I don't know. It just, that was a song I really just felt out. Like I didn't really just plan it. I just kind of just said whatever, and yeah.
What were you trying to get people to like take away from Going Merrily?
You see, those kind of questions are hard because I'm not trying to have people take away anything, because I make art for myself. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is just like my appreciation in physical form for One Piece, because I have a tattoo of Luffy on my leg. Yeah, it's one of my favorite series ever, and its storytelling influences a lot of my work as well. So
Does the like, I haven't seen the One Piece myself, but I know it's like super super long and like a very like the story is very segmented, and like one piece leads into the next, into the next, into the next, and so is that something you kind of want to like replicate throughout your music?
exactly, One Piece is like divided into arcs, and I want every like project or album to be like an arc with its own theme, and yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit more in detail about like do you have a grand plan? Like, do you have like a final like goal for like? I know you already talked about the brush strokes before, but like once the picture's done, what does it look like? You know.
You never stop. Like you'll never like flip the perfect record, because you want to find another perfect record. Like it doesn't stop. I'll keep working on this painting until I die, and when I die, that's when it will be complete.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
So Going Merrily mentions
I'm sorry, I have to blow my nose.
So Going Merrily mentions a journey both literal and metaphorical. What does this journey look like for you currently in your career?
Someone was crying about me and the crew, as in I need a fucking manager and a social media person, and yeah, like I need to figure that shit out. So yeah, I make a lot of personal references to my life in there, as I'm making a lot of parallels from the story into the song. Yeah, and the One Piece is a show all about, you know, freedom and perseverance, really. Yeah, I wanted to replicate that feeling in that song. Yeah,
I can feel that when you performed it, that one really went the hardest, and I feel like people really were awakened during that. Like people noticed the fuck out of that performance.
Oh, that's fire.
So, do you want to talk about how it felt to perform that song?
I was drunk as fuck, so I couldn't tell you. I was having a good time though. Yeah. I was having a great time. Hell yeah.
How do you feel about performing in general? Do you want to talk about more like the shows and stuff?
I vomit a little bit out of nervousness every time I perform. To be honest, yeah, it's.
I get it. I would do the same. I'm a nervous vomiter.
I'm a real nervous guy. So.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the union showcase a little bit more and how that went down?
Yeah. It went a lot better than I thought it was going to. A lot of like a pretty healthy amount of people came, for real. Yeah. Like Devin was saying, like, oh yeah, this is way more than fucking last year. So yeah, I'm glad we had enough pull to do that.
Yeah, apparently last year was super dead. So.
Damn, yeah. That sucks.
Did way better than fucking Sidbury. So do you want to talk about the interlude and kind of the idea behind like having that on the album? And what
I just wanted to really like poignant piece with a lot of depth that could really just, you know, serve to tie into the songs in the album, and I think that achieves that. You did a fantastic job of making that, by the way.
Thank you. It's one of my favorite things I've ever.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
I'm super happy that I could like have it on like a greater project.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you balance the introspective, often dark themes of your music with aspirations of hopes for the future?
Aspirations. Talking about the darkness brings hope for the future inherently, because dealing with your darkness opens you up for light. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, do you wanna like how does how does it feel to like write about the darkness and like deal with the darkness head on like that?
It fucking sucks, but I do it because I know it's important, and I love music enough to want to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Um, what do you have like an experience when you like first really tapped into that like like writing and expressing yourself that way? Um, like, do you have a specific memory or not even? It doesn't have to be specific, but like a time when you were younger when you really like first started putting your feelings onto paper.
Um, I used to rap over tight beats on YouTube. Yeah, I would write these fucking offbeat verses, man. I fucking sucked when I started rapping, for real. Like, I was terrible. But I just kept going because I loved it. I loved doing it. So, yeah.
Do you know like around what age you started rapping?
15.
15.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Do you think you could restate it? Like, I started rapping around 15.
I started rapping when I was 15. Like that? Awesome. Shit.
So. Yeah. I think that's like most of what we had. So what are some things that you look for in like other rap music that you like, and things that you kind of want to carry over into your music, like things that you pull from your influences that you really want to sort of replicate and like build upon, because that's really what art is building upon.
I really like hearing unconventional sounds. I don't know. I really like it when artists push the envelope, and I want to be an artist that does that. So I'm just trying to find shit that nobody's ever done before and put them together.
So what are some rappers right now that you feel like are really pushing the envelope like that?
Yo, shout out Z Loopers. Man, I love Z Loopers, for real. Yeah, he has just crazy pockets that he flows in sometimes, and I'm trying to get on that level. Yeah.
So any other artists other than Z Loopers?
Other than Z Loopers, huh?
And how has Z Loopers like changed your perspective on making music?
Well, let me go through my playlist. Well, he really helped lead me away from conventional song structure to find new ways of communicating thoughts. I'm just finding so many new ways of just how to communicate thoughts through song. There's another artist I listen to. His name is Ka. Just straight poet. Like he really is talking on the song. Like I'm like really like that's super like novel in terms of how rappers usually are. It's very braggadocious, very very animated, and he's really just spitting to you. It's the realest shit you ever heard. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to be like.
I feel like that your style is kind of a good influence, a good mix of like that really expressive Z Loopers like vocal performance and like just that straight spit. It's a very good blend of that.
Yeah.
So rap is a very competitive genre. What challenges have you faced establishing yourself in this field, and what achievements are you most proud of, like so far?
Establishing myself. I won't call myself established yet. I don't really feel the competitiveness in hip hop because I view the people that I respect as my mentors. So I take things from them to improve myself. You know what I'm saying? So like it might become a thing in the future as I progress more, but not something I'm worried about right now.
So, was there a time where you felt misunderstood as an artist, and how did you like address that?
Misunderstood as an artist? I mean, there are always the opinions of people who just don't get it, because not everybody will get it. Not everybody's gonna look at the same piece of art and be like, oh, that shit is fire. You know what I'm saying? So,
is there like a important message that you want to try to convey through like the precursor?
stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, because this is like the prologue of a fucking long book. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So, how important is community to your work? And can you give any examples on how like community in like collaborating with other rappers and producers has influenced you?
Initially, community wasn't. Like, I've pretty much self-taught myself how to do everything.
Yeah.
And opening this collaborative experience really opened my eyes to the strengths of that, because a lot of shit happened that I couldn't have done otherwise. So.
Do you want to talk more about how I know we've probably touched on it a bit in previous interviews, but how the Charlotte show came to be, and like who like financed that, who was there, and how that show like influenced the rest of our year and all that. And
yeah, Charlotte. I applied for a grant from the university for $500. Yeah, and that was to pay for the venue. But only that we applied for the venue online, so there's a bunch of fucking fees and shit. We had to. There's a lot of like drama with the management there and everything, and ended up being like a $700 fucking expense. So I paid for that out of pocket with my producer McCaden, and yeah, we did it. Shit.
yeah,
We definitely did a show for sure. Yeah, we did drive
time to do a show.
and did a show. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel like Ohio University has facilitated your growth in music?
I guess a lot of it was through this experience here. I now know like a lot more Ohio-based artists, and yeah, it's really opened me up to the music community here. So
Looking back on like your first work and stuff, how do you feel about it? Like now that you've just released like a brand new project and working on
my first song.
Like the first things you were putting out, like.
Dang, like
Especially, like I hear a huge difference from like a song like Wayward Ways
right
to like I don't know, this anything we made on the new project.
Yeah, monumentally different. Like the first shit I was putting out, man, it's fucking ass. It's some hot ass, for real. Like absolutely no mixing, just fucking record some shit, put it out. Yeah, that was me for sure. Yeah, it's a lot more polished now. Trying to polish it some more for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, shit. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about, or anything you'd really just want to say on microphone in the documentary?
Yeah, any cool lines?
Dang, I wish I was that witty, so I could just bust out a fucking iconic line whenever.
You bust out some cool ones during this interview.
Yeah, fire.
So.
Hell yeah.
I fuck my money up.
Yeah, I always fuck my money up. Shit.